What's good, everyone? This is Ransom, and welcome to another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle. I'm really sorry that there really has not been any Pokemon content for the last week and a half to 2 weeks. Now there is a couple reasons for it. One, I had a very important test to do, which I actually passed it this Friday, or not this Friday, last Friday. Last Friday, I actually passed an exam I had to do, and it was very important. And I actually did manage to pass it, which was great and fantastic. It was actually what I wanted to do. So anyway, and the other second reason is because my old 3DS, I accidentally dropped it, in which I've dropped it several times before, trust me. But this time, however, I dropped it on an edge of my shelf or whatever. And unfortunately, the force of the impact was so big, it broke the inside of the top screen. It really was broken, but I could still do whatever the heck I want on my old 3DS, but I'm not going to play games in its condition. So after I finished the exam, I actually decided to, hold on, let me just set this up. I actually decided to get a new one, and the one that you're seeing here is my 3DS XL Yoshi Edition. Honestly, because one, I like Yoshi, and number two, I love the color green. It's my favorite. It's out of all the colors, green is possibly my favorite color. I don't know why, I just have this love for green, I just don't know why. I just don't know why, but those are pretty much the reasons for the lack of videos. Now, as you can tell, we're having a match against SirRob. I actually had a match with this guy before. Unfortunately, it was a 3-0 victory pretty much in his favor, because I made some pretty bad plays, and some Pokemon that are really important, I lost too early in the game for certain reasons. Originally had McChamp and other Pokemon in this matchup. But shortly after, I decided to have a rematch with him. This time what I did was, I kept some of the Pokemon that I used in the last match, but it changed a few ones. The ones that I changed was the Mawile, and I believe maybe the Goodra, I think. I don't really quite remember. Gee, I know for a fact Mawile's one of them, and I definitely think Weezing or my Choice Band and Granbull's one of them. Actually, no, Choice Band and Granbull's not one of them. Yeah, I definitely think it's Weezing and Mawile that I changed on. I don't know why, I just love Weezing. It's such a good defensive wall and a great counter to fighting types. So it's a really damn good wall. Plus, I love the fact that because of its type and the fact it gains the ability, since its main ability is Levitate, which only gives it one weakness, and that's Psychic types. Now, luckily, he does not have a Psychic type Pokemon on his team. Although the only problem with Weezing, though, is that since you're running the physically defensive set, his special defense is not exactly that great. But there is such a thing as an Assault Vest set that I've seen some people have used, such as Xenon, but I'm not going to go into detail about that. So let's take a look at my team. And you might look right off the bat of who the Pokemon is next to Granbull, to the left of Granbull, a Bulldor. And you might be wondering why isn't it to the Gigalith? It's actually because I wanted to try a Eviolite Bulldor just to see how effective it is, and surprisingly, it's actually pretty good. But you guys should definitely try it. It's pretty damn badass. But I do have my Choice Band and Granbull that was from my Trick Room team. I have Weezing, my physical wall supporting Weezing. Like I said, I love Weezing. It's a good physical wall, perfect counter to fighting types, and a perfect counter to ground type Pokemon. Pretty much in general, especially Flygon. They cannot use Earthquake. Actually, especially if I have a Pokemon that's weak to Earthquake, I could just safely bring in Weezing to predict that, and he can't use Earthquake on me, unless he has the ability Mold Breaker, which would kind of suck, but at the same time, not exactly. I have my Mega Mawile. Like I said, it's the defensive set I run, not the physical set. I have my specially defensive Goodra, which again, I love freaking Goodra. I just love this poke. It's a damn good special defensive wall, just like Florges. And probably, in my opinion, Goodra's probably one of the best Dragon types in the game in terms of defensive and offensive type. Defensive and offensive. It's actually, in my opinion, one of the best Dragon types in the game. And I have my Focus Edge Vivillon, and like I said, this was a rematch. He's basically running the same team. He has a Roserade, a Zorak, a Sylveon, a Lucario, which surprisingly his Lucario is actually his Mega Evolution, not the Gyarados. And he also has the Garchomp, which is, well, let's see this actually. I thought the Garchomp he had in the last game, I thought it was Choice Scarfed. But after seeing how much damage he did to my Granbull in the first game, again, I didn't upload this and I forgot to do it, so I'm sorry. It actually turns out his Garchomp is actually Choice Banded, which means I have to be very careful about this thing. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And when I actually was playing his game, there were 3 Pokemon I had to get. There were actually 3 Pokemon I was really worried about the most. Or actually make that 2. The Garchomp's, like I said, I found out it was choice banded. And the second one was that Roserade, which that thing can really fuck up my team. And I need to keep Vivillon alive simply for that Roserade. So he goes into his Gyarados as a lane. I decided to lead off with my Boldar. I actually realized at this point that this was one of the mistakes I made in the first match. I didn't realize that Stealth Rocks was definitely necessary to win the game here. So my opponent actually goes for War, and it's interesting because I learned that his moves is Waterfall, Earthquake, and now his third move is War. And unfortunately for him, it took me out into my Granbull, and that is unfortunate because Granbull can 2-hit KO that Gyarados with absolutely no problem. So he decides to make a good play and switches to Roserade, but unfortunately, as you can tell, that Stealth Rocks combined the flare, that does a shitload of damage. That literally does almost half that, but at this point, I do not want to stay in against the Roserade. I know it might go for Sludge and just fucking destroy my Granbull, so I decided to switch into Mawile because I know he's going to go for either Sludge, but he actually goes for Energy Ball predicting the Switch, which is definitely not a bad play, but my Mega Mawile pretty much is a defensive set, so it took that Energy Ball like a fucking monster. Let's just say that. It took that like a beast, and I'm fully invested into special defense. And he goes back down into the Surly. I know that Intimidate Mega Mawile is very popular, but I actually like Hyper Cutter more because that's going to help it avoid getting intimidated, and that's actually great. So that was perfect that I actually did Mega Evolve right after he sent it into Gyarados. That's perfect. And I get a free stockpile up, and now it's time to fucking fuck up some Pokemon here. So he actually goes for the Earthquake. And after that one stockpile, I took that Earthquake like a fucking monster. I know it's not stab, but Earthquake is a very powerful move. Let's actually say that for a fact. So anyway, he actually decides to go for Rest, and I actually now found out his moveset. His moves, he's basically a Resto Chesto set. He basically is Rest, War to send opponents out in case if it's a bad matchup for him. War, Earthquake, and Waterfall for stab. I still went for the Play Rough just to dish out as more damage as I can. And it actually turns out that, well, whatever. I actually managed to, do a lot of damage. Now, here I went for Play Rough again, or no, I actually went for Baton Pass so I can switch out. Unfortunately for me, he actually gets the crit on that target. And look at how much damage the first Earthquake did, which was 40 points of damage. That crit definitely mattered to kill my Mawile, so I actually decided to go Intimidate. Here, I actually switch out. I made a pretty risky play here. I was thinking of going into, I went into Granbull, and I was predicting him to maybe switch. I was actually predicting him to probably, I was mostly predicting him to switch out into something, but he actually goes for the Waffle, but luckily, I took that, like, way better than I thought. I thought that would do way over her, or at least put me down to my sash, but it actually did not to be that case, though. Plus, he can't even use Earthquake, so I'm fine. He sends in the Sylveon as I go for the Quiverance, predicting the switch. And that's exactly what he does. I decided at this point, well, you know what? He's probably going to expect the Hurricane to finish me out with a Moonblast. Let's just go for Sleep Power. And luckily, he did not switch. He actually lets the Sylveon stay asleep. Which, unfortunately, that's kind of a damn shame because after one Cronus, Hurricane's just going to destroy lives. Seriously, it's just going to destroy lives at this point. So, I decided, you know what, I don't really need another Quiverance. Let's just go straight for Hurricane. He actually sent in this guy, which, unfortunately, I noticed it didn't do the super effective sound, so it's actually his Zorak. But luckily, now you see why that Stealth Rocks I actually didn't realize in the first match it really mattered, because that Zorak would have been a problem if I didn't have Stealth Rocks up. But luckily, I went for Hurricane. It's dead, so that was a bad switch on his part, but at the same time, not really. So he sends in a little Lucario, and like I said, I needed to save Vivillon simply for that Roserade. Because after that, I don't really think it's not going to be necessary, so I decided to switch into Weezing, and let me tell you, he just takes Lucario's hits like a monster. I mean, look at that. Adaptability Step Bullet Punch doesn't do crap to Weezing. It doesn't do anything to Weezing at all. Alright, so, right here, actually switches on to this thing. I actually went for the Will-O-Wisp, but unfortunately I actually go for the Flamethrower, actually. I was thinking maybe he would stay in, predicting me to go for Sludge Bomb, but he decides to switch, so I didn't see that coming, but at the same time, not really. So he actually goes for the rescue, and I know for a fact he can't do anything to me, and I know for a fact my Sludge Bomb would do nice damage to him. I mean, seriously, look, you're going to see how much damage this does. The Sludge Bomb, unfortunately, it doesn't really do as much as I thought it would, which actually tells me right off the bat that this thing is probably a defensive set with the Intimidate to help it out. I fully understand it. I go for Sludge Bomb again because I want to dish out as much damage as I can. At least to him anyway. Now, and looking how much damage these Sludge Bombs do, it definitely looks like it's a 5-hit KO, but he actually goes for the Waterfall here in this turn. I was expecting him to go for Rest here, but so I go for Sludge Bomb, and the only chance I had to kill this thing was to get a Poison off. Unfortunately, I don't get the Poison, which is really bad because now that means he has to go for Rest again. And I don't want to waste all my Sludge Bombs because I wasted so many of them just trying to kill this thing. So I decided to switch out predicting the Rest and go into Big Bully because I know that Big Bully will take any hit this thing offers. Goes to sleep again. Look, Rest, and I'm actually surprised it's not Sleep. It doesn't have Sleep Talk. I think Sleep Talk would have been more better than just War. But that could be, but that's just me. So he goes into the Sylveon, and I thought this was a pretty odd player's one because I went for the Play Rough, and he actually lives that Play Rough with literally like, I don't know, like 1 damn HP. And I was like, god damn it, that's very, very bad. So he's just like, I went for Play Rough. Unfortunately, he does actually wake up and goes for the Protect just to see what I was gonna do, or just PP stall me, I guess. But I honestly really don't care at this point because Play Rough is just gonna. Let's see what I'm doing. He tries to go for double Protect. Unfortunately, it fails. Let me tell you, trying to get a double Protect is really, really damn hard in this game, actually. Despite the increased chances to actually get double Protect, it still is pretty hard to get in. But sometimes if you do manage to get it right off the bat, then it's going to be really, really damn helpful. Trust me on that. So now he's actually going to send in the thing just to get the Intimidate off, and I do see that reason. But there really is no point at all whatsoever. I still went for the Play Rough regardless, and as you can tell, even with the Intimidate, I know he still took that well, but even with the Intimidate, still did a decent amount of damage, and at least damage is damage, and that's all I care about. I want to damage this thing as soon as I can. So, now, I actually realized at this point that my Goodra is also going to be very important here, simply because that, it can also counter this Rosary pretty damn nicely, because even if Rosary puts me to sleep, it doesn't matter, because none of its attacks won't do anything to me at all. Sorry, and it just like let everyone know, the original moveset I had my Goodra was Dragon Pulse, Flamethrower, Muddy Water, and Thunderbolt, but I actually changed a bit of its moves. Actually, I took out Thunderbolt and, no, not sorry. I took out Thunderbolt and that stuff and replaced it with Ice Beam and Sludge Bomb, simply because that those moves actually give better type coverage than Muddy Water and Thunderbolt. So I actually made a better play, actually, honestly, going for Ice Beam. So I go for the Dragon Balls as he goes for the Toxic. I honestly really don't care. But I actually realized at this point that since this thing's going to be fast, that he can just go for Simisis all damn day. So forth. So I actually take this opportunity and predict that and go into my Vivillon. And Vivillon is just going to annihilate this thing. And like I figured, he did in fact go for Simisis. If he actually went for Sludge Bomb, predicting the switch, and he killed it, that would have been a really good play. But he actually was being a bit too greedy with the Toxic Soul thing, so right off the bat I think, you know what, I'm just not going to go for Hurricane, let's just go straight for Hurricane, and that annihilates that Rosary, like, absolutely no problem whatsoever, and luckily, that is a big threat out of the damn way. Okay, so, and I was, now this was a risky play I made. I was thinking of actually, I was actually thinking of staying and letting my Vivillon die, just in case, simply because I thought it was useless, but I actually realized that Vivillon could probably come in handy on. But it actually turns out he actually has Poison Jab on this thing to counter Fairy types, and what was you can tell, that Intimidate really helped because that didn't do half, so I go for Play Rough. Unfortunately for me, it actually freaking missed, which is so bad because that means this guard jump is going to be a damn problem. And I knew for a fact that my best option was going to Weezing. It looks like Weezing is a good counter. He's a great counter to Garchomp, especially the Poison Jab, because since it will do absolutely no damage, That's perfect because that means I won't get poisoned because I'm already a poison type. So, ha! Take that, Garchomp. Ha! Alright, so he actually sends in back this Gyarados, which I kind of predicted him to switch out because all of his remaining Pokemon are nothing but physical types, so I could just freely use Will-O-Wisp on any Pokemon. I know Gyarados is an exception because of rest, but I think it's very important to do that. And, so he does in fact go for rest here like I figured he would. I really, honestly, didn't have much of an option. I was thinking of switching out, predicting that, but I really didn't have much of a choice. So I still go for Sludge Bomb, which is very, very important actually in this battle. So he actually decides to switch here. Now I actually still went for the Sludge Bomb, but well, I actually switched predicting the switch. Actually, that's actually what I did. And unfortunately, I switched when he switched into Boulder, and that was a terrible idea on my part. But he actually makes a really, really odd play here. He actually switches out instead of going for close combat, which is honestly would have been the better play. But but then again, I can actually understand why though, because if he actually went for close combat, the Earthquake would have easily taken out Mega Lucario. So I definitely do see that reason. He goes into Garchomp. As my only best move against this thing is pretty much Earthquake because it's the only one that does normal neutral damage. Unfortunately though, his Poison Jab, he actually went for Poison Jab, predicting me to switch into Grambo, but that's not the case. Right here, I knew for a fact he had to switch out since he's stuck on a Poison Jab. I predicted that go for Storage, and that is a dead Gyarados. Even with the Intimidate, it didn't matter. But I also get a crit on that Storage because of its high chance to crit. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if that crit even mattered. I don't really think it mattered. Let me tell you, people. And he goes for Poison Jab again. I don't know why he didn't go for Earthquake. I basically messaged him, dude, I'm not gonna switch out. I'm gonna stay in. You have to kill me right off the motherfucking bat. And unfortunately, he pretty much cannot switch into Lucario because an Earthquake can just destroy it. So I basically just say, you know what? Let's just keep Auto in and I killed the Gyarados, and let me tell you people, Eviolite Boulder, definitely MVP of the match, really helped out a lot, and he did a fantastic job at the end of the match. So, unfortunately, I didn't get a Boulder sweep, but that's completely fine with me because I just decided, well, might as well, you did a good job, Boulder, I'm gonna let you die, and I'm gonna send in Weezing. Actually, I could have easily just sent in Weezing and just saved Boulder, but I just decided, well, might as well do it. I actually decided here to go for the Will-O-Wisp here, but I actually made a terrible play here. And let me tell you, the last couple of plays, I just kept going for Will-O-Wisp, but I should have just went for Flamethrower, because Flamethrower will do a shitload there. So I go for Will-O-Wisp. He tries to go for Double Take. It doesn't work. I go for Will-O-Wisp. I missed it. It sucks, but oh well. This is a well-trained Weezing regard. So I actually realized at this point that, you know what? He's still free, even if he's Mega Evolved. I could just simply, pretty much almost take it out of the Flamethrower. So I just said, you know what? Screw Will-O-Wisp. Let's just go for Flamethrower. Just take the stand out. He goes for Double Attack and manages to get it. And we're just kind of, he actually got lucky with that. But I go for Flamethrower. Unfortunately, he lives that with literally 1 HP. It's like, holy shit, that is a lot. If I had Fire Blast, that would have been a dead freaking Lucario right off the freaking bat. So I just went for Flamethrower again, and that is pretty much the game. And all I had left was I still had quite a few Pokemon left, to be completely honest. I still had quite a few left. I still had some Pokemon left, but well, that's it for the matchup. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm definitely glad that Boulder really did a good job in this match. Setting up the Stealth Rocks. I didn't realize in the first match we had that Stealth Rocks was going to be very important, actually. Because Stealth Rocks really can screw up his team, especially that Gyarados, since Gyarados is weak to Stealth Rocks. And I never realized that until I did this matchup, and it made a huge difference. If I would have done it in the first match, and made some nice predictions instead of making a ton of bad misplays, I probably could have won the first game, actually. But I didn't do it, so. But regardless, thanks for watching the matchup. Boulder, definitely the MVP of the match. Eviolite is so good with Boulder. You guys should definitely try out Boulder with Eviolite. It's really, really damn good. You definitely should try it out sometime. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time in the next Pokemon XY Wi-Fi battle.